everybody. Chase Points Podcast back here. I'm the biggest loser, Brandon. We got Brendan, Harrison, Sam here. It's Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, and it's episode 198. We are getting closer and closer to 200. So thank you for those that have been listening from the beginning. Thank you for those that just started listening now. And I also feel bad for some of you for listening from the beginning too. So, a mixed bag of things. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing today?
You may be entitled to compensation, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Give a little payback.
Maybe.
Good, man.
Great,
How are you?
Hayes.
How are you, Hayes? How's it
I
going?
bet you are great. Oh, now, today you all want to ask me how I'm doing, huh?
Well, we saw you yesterday.
I'm not going to tell you I'll kick rocks.
We just wanted to. Harrison and I were chatting last night. We're concerned.
No, we'll just go right into it. Niners beat the Eagles. Niners beat the Eagles.
Was there football on yesterday?
Beat the Eagles.
Oh, shit.
Niners beat the Eagles. Niners beat the Eagles. I'm still trying to come to terms with that. But I am very, 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 very happy that I don't have to see Kevin Matula anymore again.
Is he fired yet?
No, he should have been fired before he even made it to the locker room. But somehow, some way, that didn't happen. But Adam Schefter came out today and has said that they will be looking for an offensive mind. Geez, that probably would have been a good idea to hire somebody after you just won the Super Bowl instead of giving a guy, the keys to the castle that has never called plays in the NFL. But sure, he's only been our, L for several weeks between Brendan, myself. Yeah, it's not been great. So, gentlemen, number one, I thank you to you guys for sparing me from watching this with you guys, because I might have got really, really drunk and needed somebody to give me an Uber to go home. So, what was your thoughts of the game, gentlemen?
Kind of played out, obviously, how I thought it would.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
5
I'm a
minutes
winner.
in.
Yep. I am an absolute winner.
Playoff Harry.
I'm the only one that picked the Niners. I don't know why you guys doubted them.
This guy has one good fucking week. One good week, and this is what he does.
No, I guess seriously though, man. The Eagles look the same as they've looked all year. And I know we thought, I even thought at some point they would flip a switch and become that team again that they were during their championship run, and they had all of the same pieces for the most part. And it was weird. It was weird to see them this year basically play down to competition every game, never quite get it together. A lot of the problems were obvious ones, and they never found the solutions for them all year. And it was just, and that's why the pick was hard, because they're more talented than the 49ers. Like the 49ers are broken. Like they don't have anyone at certain positions. And it's just like, but they've been finding a way to get it done, even though they haven't played the best competition. But I mean, that's a skill in itself, like finding a way to win. And they've won consistently, over the last couple of months. So yeah, that's kind of why I picked them, and why I thought they'd be able to go into Philly and pull off the upset, so to speak. So yeah, I mean, the Eagles, they have the talent, they have the roster. It's just, even opposing coaches are saying it's schematic. So it's like, all right, let's take a look. Let's make some changes here. Let's do something different. Jalen Hurts didn't look comfortable all year. And I know he's gone from offensive coordinator to offensive coordinator his entire career. This one didn't seem to work. So let's, I guess, get a new one because it's just, they have way too much talent to be wasting it in the way they did this year.
I hope y'all not waiting for me. Y'all two go first. I'll say what I'm going to say at the end. You two can go first.
Oh, yeah, let him close it. Let him close the Eagles out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's Hayes. We've all been saying the same thing all year, and I know what you'll say because you said it leading up to this game. You said it after the game. Second half adjustments or lack thereof, and it's really a tale of two halves, and one team just I don't know. Brendan, we were chatting. Brendan said, here come the Eagles driving down the field. Like, just kind of thought it was preordained. Like, all right, we're going to score this. We're going to put them away here, and it's fine. And it just didn't happen.
What was my response to that when Brendan said that?
I don't remember, but it probably was positive.
No, it's not. It's over. My response was it's over.
It's over.
So, I hate to see it because the talent is there. This AJ Brown thing he just needs to go away. I don't know what the hell is going on there, but if there's anyone that can fix this roster, at least it's their GM. I don't know how much faith you have in everyone else, but clearly there's going to be a lot of changes that need to be made there, and the money's going to dry up too as far as the cap goes. You got to pay some of these great young players that you've drafted, or they're eligible to be paid soon. So things are going to get a little tighter, and see how, you're in the next phase of dynasty mode or just really good team mode. And can you adjust? Can Howie adjust? And can the personnel around Jalen adjust? And that's yet to be seen, but it's part of the game when you pay all these guys. So it's not like you didn't see it coming. So I'm sure there's a plan, or maybe not. Who knows?
I think.
Did someone die? Are we okay? You all right? It's okay.
I'm waiting. I'm patiently just waiting. I'm waiting for you all to get it out. Good.
I don't want to pile on, but it's just like they went about this year with a lot of ego. And not wanting to change anything and then in comparison, you look at a team like who they lost to yesterday, they're having passes thrown by Juan Jennings. So it's he completed more passes over 15 yards than Jalen Hurts did, but they have no ego about it. They know they're shorthanded and they know they need to do those types of things to win. But the Eagles never did any of that. They never tried anything different. They never, said to themselves, okay, maybe we do need to find a different way to win. And it just kind of bit them in the end.
I'm not going to pile on the Eagles, but shout out to Big Dom.
Hell yeah. Nice catch.
Nice
catch.
That
was a good catch. Great hands.
All hands team there. Hats off to the Niners, though. This is incredible what they're doing.
It really is.
I mean, they lost Kittle yesterday as well. It's amazing what they're doing this year. And obviously that's a testament to the coaching staff. Christian McCaffrey is an absolute beast, especially in the receiving game coming out of the backfield. And, say what you will about Brock Purdy, game manager, Mr. Irrelevant. The guy wins games, and he shows up. So really hats off to the Niners. It's impressive what they've done this year, and then to go into Philly and knock off the defending champs. So So kudos to the Niners.
I'm so impressed with Kyle Shanahan. I mean, I have been for years, but I mean, to make Mac Jones is the reason you are in the playoffs. Yep. And it's just, he played really well. And then, maybe not so much last year, but Debo did so much for this team. He was the running back at times before CMC, right? He did so much. He's not there. He's older. He's not there. Brandon Ayuk, you didn't have all year. And, again, there's kind of at times Pearsall's been on and off the field there, but, Jennings there's weird contract stuff going on, and sometimes he's playing, sometimes he's not, and whatever. But this team, just now they lose their vocal leader. Is it Achilles? It looked like Achilles. I didn't.
Yeah.
So who knows what that future looks like for George Kittle, but this team, I really am. I don't know what to think about the Niners going back into Seattle to play them, the Seahawks there. But this team's been pretty impressive all year, and just a big win for them. And Jalen didn't look great. It's got to be a bummer, because I said it. I think I said it going into the playoffs. I think they were the best. The Eagles were the best all-around team, in my opinion, just from every facet of the game, and at least the skill positions that they have. and just the experience of being there and literally blowing the brakes off the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl and not even having to rush 5 to do it. And, just that team there were spurts, but it wasn't like last year where they had that bye, they fixed it, and they came out swinging and they didn't lose after that. It's just a tale of two teams there because did not see that same kind of fight in this team this year. But Hayes, I think you've said a lot of that this year, and I'm sure you're gonna say more.
Just want to make sure you're finished because I have a lot to say. Okay,
We're good.
Go on.
Go ahead, man.
So I'll start with the Niners. Shout out to them. It's to do what they did is amazing. What they have been doing with what they have. And Jordan Mailata said it in a press conference before the Eagles played the Niners. He said, there's a bunch of hungry players over there that don't get this opportunity. These guys are being called up off the practice squad. Those are the most dangerous type of players that you have to play against. And you saw what happened. Even when they lost another star player, they still did what they needed to do. To touch on Brendan's point of Brock Purdy, I don't think people even call him Purdy a game manager anymore. I think he's proven that for a while now. And he's been slinging when he is available and healthy, which seems to be a problem for him, is staying healthy throughout a whole entire season. But when he is healthy, he can sling the ball and he has no fear. And I respect that about him for sure. Kyle Shanahan showed the Eagles what an offensive coordinator and an offensive coach looks like. Just in case the offensive coordinator can't call the plays, the head coach has a specialty in calling offensive plays, and they can bail the team out. Shout outs to Robert Saleh. Somehow, some way, he seems to have the Eagles number last year. Jets beating the Eagles for the first time in franchise history. And he led that. The fact that man said the scheme, but Saquon still something, that immediately said something to me that I already knew, which everybody knew and is calling it out. If you take the time to watch Dan Orlovsky's breakdown of the last drive of the Eagles, they literally did verticals about 3 or 4 times, quick slants about 2 times, and it just repeated. And they just swapped players from each side. It was the same thing over and over again. You're challenging a team that is also a bunch of full with pros, and you're thinking that's just going to work, as if they can't read what's going to happen. You just did the same plays over and over again on the same drive. So that says everything. Also, watch the video of the last play when Jalen goes and talks to Kevin Batula and Nick Sirianni, and Jalen kind of looks at him and is puzzled, like, what are we really calling this right now? And just goes out there and does it. I can sit here and point out all the flaws. You have plenty of episodes to go back and watch and listen of all the things that I've said about the Eagles all this year. And fortunately or unfortunately for my brothers on here, they've got to hear me say, which I've been very truthful throughout the times of when I knew the Eagles were going to lose, I would say it. I'm not against it. I knew what was going to happen. So this, obviously, it stings. I would like to see my team go back and repeat, and I know how hard it is and would love to do that, especially with the most expensive offense in the league. I would have expected that they would have done something. But again, when you give the keys to the castle to a guy that's never called plays in the NFL and expect him to be a mastermind after, if you realize in the past 4 years, the Eagles they went to the Super Bowl, lost. The following year, they use Brian Johnson. They are one and done. The year after, they get a competent offensive coordinator. They go to Super Bowl and win. The year after that, they hire within again, and they're one and done again. So I would probably think the solution is stop hiring the people within to replace the offensive minds that obviously left to go and be head coaches, because obviously that's that case. Now, I know there's also rumors circulating at this point in time about Nick Sirianni potentially getting fired. I know we're going to talk more about coaches going from there. I will say this, and it's going to sound blasphemous, especially because coming off of a Super Bowl win last year. This is twice now that this has happened under him, that they've gone to the Super Bowl, and the following year they said, okay, let's just get somebody that really hasn't called plays in the NFL and let's just do this, right? And doesn't have a tremendous track record of calling plays. That's malpractice in my beliefs, especially when you have a Super Bowl roster. And you don't call offensive plays yourself. You don't call defensive plays yourself. But he is one of the most winning coaches in the NFL within his first 5 seasons. So, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22. I don't think the Eagles are going to get rid of him. But I think they 100%, if they keep Nick Sirianni, they need to take his coaching choices away from him because it's clearly not working. I also feel bad for Vic Fangio because he put together one of the better Eagle defenses that I've ever seen. And the way they were doing it yesterday, they could not get to Brock Purdy at all. Shout out to Trent Williams, who came back off the hamstring. That was huge for them to shore up that side for them. All in all, I will say it's going to be a very interesting offseason for the Eagles. Dallas Goedert's a free agent. Reed Blankenship, Nakobe Dean, Jalen Phillips, Jahan Dotson, Brandon Graham, the punter, Brandon Mann, a couple guards. Don't know if Lane Johnson is going to retire or not. And then a couple linemen that aren't really just kind of pickups this year. But, I mean, Dallas Goedert immediately stands out in Kobe Dean, Jalen Phillips, and Braden Mann because he's a phenomenal punter. So very interested to see what they're going to do with that and then also what they're going to do with A.J. Brown. That is he's getting older. He's still talented, but it's clear that he is not in the right space with them due to multiple things. So I'm curious to see how that goes.
Good synopsis, Hayes.
Thank you. I've had time to think about it. A lot of time to think about it. Thought about it during this next game, the Pats over the Chargers, because it was right on my mind right after that. And I'm just very happy that the Eagles didn't get rickrolled like this. Shout out to the Pats and what they did to the Chargers. And correct me if I'm wrong. Everybody keeps telling me that Justin Herbert is that guy, right?
We're not doing this.
We are fucking doing this.
We're not
Justin
doing
Herbert is that guy, right? He's 0-5 in the playoffs.
This isn't fair.
And I keep getting told that, when he gets a head coach, when he got a head coach, he would do better. And still hasn't come to fruition. So I need to know other excuses for him at this point. So guys, please let me know.
All right. In preparation for this moment, I have some nuggies here.
Good.
All right. So Justin Herbert, among 54 quarterbacks with 100 or more pass attempts in the playoffs since the year 2000, Justin Herbert ranks 49th in yards per pass attempt, 52nd in completion percentage, 53rd in touchdowns to interception ratio, 53rd in passer rating, and 53rd in time sacked per game.
So what you're saying is, Brendan, he doesn't show up? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'll let you draw your own conclusions, but
okay.
Obviously not good.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I've only been standing. First off, sir, thank you for that. I've only been standing on this hill for years saying exactly what I've seen. Now, I don't think he's a bad quarterback in the regular season at times, but it's a proven track record now at this point in time. He's 0-5 in the playoffs. I've heard every excuse for it. So now at this point in time, what is the excuse?
I just don't know how it's fair to come to any conclusion after we literally just watched the worst offensive line I've ever seen.
He got sacked 6 times yesterday.
Like,
he had no time to throw.
Has he not gotten it done? Sure. But, we just watched it happen. He was under pressure every single snap.
I've watched Patrick Mahomes be under pressure for a season for pretty much every single snap and got his team all the way to the Super Bowl and then got killed in the Super Bowl, but still got to the Super Bowl.
He's not Patrick Mahomes.
I don't think any of us are saying is.
I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes, but he's put in the top 5, which Patrick Mahomes lives in. And that's what the barometer is Patrick Mahomes. Is it not?
Sure. I don't think it should even be the conversation at all because clearly we watched an offensive line get absolutely dominated They were going into the game ranked 32nd out of 32 teams in the NFL. All of their offensive line rankings, they don't even have one guy that's ranked at his position as one of the better in his position. It was a mismatch. It was a complete mismatch. And to throw it on Justin Herbert, it's just unfair. But that is the way it is, I guess. But we just watched him be under like assault. Like the Pats assaulted him. They assaulted him, and it was just never a fair fight. So all of those things add up along the way, and I'm sure we could find excuses for every single Justin Herbert performance. I don't want to be here to cape for Justin Herbert, but last night I wouldn't put it on him. I just wouldn't. Like there was zero time, zero.
And he
got dominated.
He led his team in rushing too. No Amari and Hampton, like he suited up, but he barely played. Kamani Vidal's a nice complementary running back, but especially when you know this, when you don't have a offensive line, there was just nothing to do. Look, I know. Look, we've sat here and said Justin Herbert is an elite talent. I don't know if any of us. I don't feel comfortable saying he's a top 8 quarterback, but I think from a prototype skills, the schematic of what a quarterback should look like, it is Justin Herbert. And to a lot of people, 6'5", can run, has a pretty strong arm, makes decent decisions. Like I'll take that all day. Just like this, I've said the same thing about Trevor Lawrence. And yeah, he had a span of a couple weeks where he looked elite. Probably isn't, but I will bet on that makeup. So yeah, no, I don't think any of us would say Justin Herbert's top 10 quarterback, but Justin Herbert didn't just lose that game.
Oh no, I never blame one person. I just love, how they champion somebody that I clearly see with my eyes has not been able to do it. To be fair, his offensive line for the past 5 years has also not been the greatest either. 2021, kind of okay. But for the most part, they're up there in higher passing pressures allowed. So maybe you should do something to protect your guy, or maybe he just needs to get the ball out quicker. I don't know. But yeah.
Shout out to the Pats. They played great. They dominated both sides of the line. Drake May bounced back from a bad turnover, turned it around super quick, and they were just rolling. So yeah, it was the only game not decided by 4 points or less. So.
Harrison, how you feel about Drake May now?
Good. I said he should have started from day one. Remember that?
You did not say that shit, so stop that line.
I did. I had Patriot fans mad at me.
Sir.
Yeah, I remember
your
that.
3 year, what is it, quarterback rule? You didn't know about him? Remember that?
No, I said he should start from day one. When they were starting Jacoby Brissett, I said this is really dumb. Let's see what the kid has.
Yeah, they had a third pick for a reason. No one expected this turnaround. But this is year 2, Drake May, right? Going to win the MVP. If not, and if he doesn't win the MVP, it's fine too, because Matt Stafford is the man. But yeah, everything I just said about Justin Herbert, copy paste to Drake May. Like that is the prototype quarterback. I don't know if Drake May is as big as Justin Herbert, but it doesn't matter. Like this isn't on the Chargers losing this game either. Like they were just outplayed, and we were all kind of skeptical of how this Patriots team would play when they had to play, good teams, like and it's only going to get tougher, but they clearly have the personnel and the mindset to win these games. It starts at the top. I hate saying all of this as a Jets fan, but I have respect for this organization when they don't cheat, and I have respect for Mike Vrabel. And I, instantly, I think we said it when we were going through the previews, like the Vrabel effect. Like this team's making the playoffs. I didn't think they would be this good, but yeah, no, this is they punched them in the mouth, and just it was a great game.
Brian, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys touched on most of it, but I'm super impressed with the Pats with Drake May. One of my biggest mistakes was second guessing the Patriots and the Mike Vrabel effect at the beginning of the season when we were making our picks. Vrabel has reestablished that culture, the Patriot way, if you want to call it that. And Drake May is the real deal. And I think we've seen that all throughout the year and yesterday as well. So super impressed with the Pats. I think they're my favorite now in the AFC and even over the Broncos, over the Bills. So I'm super impressed with what they're doing right now.
Oh, that pains me.
I know,
but it's not.
Me too.
True.
But yeah. And I got to live with a Patriots fan here, Chelsea, talking about it. So yeah. Pats are back.
Drake May 6'4", 225.
Dude, he's got all the tools.
Yeah.
He just and he looks, calm and collected, cool under pressure.
That's my favorite part about him, just his composure. I love, watching, when a quarterback throws a pick, are they still going to try to make the throws? Are they just going to get skittish? And that's a huge thing that I look for. And then, Hayes, I know you're smiling. I did not downplay Drake May.
That's not why I'm smiling. I'm smiling because we just talked about Justin Herbert and everything I said about Justin Herbert, and I'm hearing you guys talk about Drake May, and this is exactly what I'm talking about because you guys are smart. So it's just that's why I'm smiling. This is what I'm talking about. You just gloated about a guy that's been in the league for 2 years, and we just talked about Justin Herbert, and that's the shit I'm talking about. That's why I'm smiling. So continue.
Okay.
I feel good about this.
What was your feeling?
All right.
I'm feeling good then. But I'm also feeling quick too, Drake May. I was impressed. He can scoot, he can move too. And I'm not saying he's fast, but
led the team in rushing.
Yeah, hit over 60 yards, right? So
wild.
He's not just a statue back there, so he can certainly move.
And offensively, what they're doing, who he's throwing to. I mean, Stephon Diggs has had a much better year than he was projected to, or it seemed like he was going to, especially being in
on
Houston.
The field.
Yeah, on the field. Yeah. Who knows? That's something else. We won't get into that. But who are you throwing to? DeMario Doug, and I like these receivers, but it all works. I like the running back, but it's all working.
Feels like the old Pats.
It feels like the old Pats.
It really does.
So much.
I hate all of it.
So much. Hate it so much.
Yeah. This is what happens when you got good ownership. Bills beat the Jags. The one time that I decide to champion sunshine, he lets me down. He lets me down. I'm not quite sure what he was doing and the Jags were doing. So for those that don't know, it almost was a live stream, but Harrison, Sam, and I watched this game together yesterday. And it was started off so slow. Defensive game, didn't know what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden you start to see the gears start going. And then all I kept seeing is Shakir just start catching the ball over and over and over again. And then what's his name? Washington on the Jags. And it was okay, there's a couple of different things. And then what did I say? I said something. And then right after he throws a pick.
Yeah, there it goes. There he is.
I think you said they just have to get into field goal range.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. There you go.
And then throws a pick immediately. And I just did not know what to do. And then I reminded myself, this is exactly why I feel the way that I feel about him. Even though he had a great year this year, I do not want to knock that. He did have a great year this year. And I champion still that meme. He should have just came out in the grills and played that way. But I don't. The Bills won the game. I still don't feel confident in the Bills, though.
I don't either.
I don't feel. Again, Josh Allen, MVP quarterback, top 2 to 3, depending which way you want to look at it. and this year, arguably 1, 2, again, depending on which way you look at it. That team does not look great to me at all. And they are now due to play
Broncos.
That's right, Broncos. Tough sledding.
I disagree a little bit. I think the Jaguars are really good. And to go down there and beat them and find a way to do it was super impressive to me. And they obviously have Josh Allen, and you're going to bet on Josh Allen more oftentimes than not. I just like the way they found a way to win.
Did they use a certain play to win?
Tush push.
Oh, didn't Sean douchebag McDermott say that he wanted that ban and that it would it hurt quarterbacks? And I'm on a rampage today. Don't worry about it.
You're so angry.
Everybody that I've been waiting to get is going to get it today.
The contrast of you sitting at a bar yesterday screaming for Trevor Lawrence, and if you've listened to this podcast for the last 5 years, it was just internally. I'm just like, this is fantastic. Here we are.
All I'm saying is that somebody's a walking contradiction that says that the tush push and wanted it banned, and yet somehow, some way, his quarterback rushed it for 8 yards, and then they followed up again and ran it in, and it pretty much sealed the deal for them. But they're the second team that uses it the most, but somehow he wants it banned because, it's risk people, and you want to risk your MVP.
It wasn't banned. And
he pushed to want it banned.
I understand, but it wasn't, so he used it.
Okay, Sam. He wanted it banned. He was the champion of wanting it banned, and it didn't happen, sir.
He wanted it to be done. He's calling him a snake, Sam.
Thank you.
Snake behavior.
Was he the? Was it? I thought it was LaFleur. Wasn't it the Packers that wanted
him and LaFleur? They were the two front runners of it.
Yeah, look, it's not. It's not great. It's not great, but Bills got it done yesterday using the tush push.
In a hostile environment.
The longest tush push, probably. Too,
right? Yes. Very much so. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not super. Just going back to the actual game here instead of tush pushing.
It's enough pushing.
Whatever you want to do on your own time, man.
Yes. Keep it behind closed doors.
Wow.
I'm not super impressed with the Bills either. I haven't been, for some time, but like I said last week, as long as Josh Allen is steering the ship there and he's your quarterback, it gives them a chance to win. He's such a game changer. There's not enough adjectives to throw out there to describe him, but he's the guy you want, right? At the QB position there, and as long as they have him, they have a chance to win. He did get banged up yesterday, so that'll be interesting to keep an eye on as well going forward. But yeah, it's a big win, going down there to Jacksonville. And like I said, Hayes, not to discredit the Jags at all, did a hell of a season, but going up against the Bills team that's into the playoffs, they've been there, they've done that. I think that really played a big role in this as well. So we'll see what the Bills look like moving forward here. And Josh Allen's health too. That takes away from some of the running game. It'll be interesting to see what they do in Denver.
I think he'd be fine. I mean, he got banged up the week prior to, 2 weeks ago against the Eagles. Prior to that, was banged up again. So he just seems like he's just a gamer. He just doesn't care. Just kind of goes. We thought that he broke his hand when he threw that pass and hit it on his offensive lineman's helmet. Yeah, it did not look great at all.
The lineman sat on his face at some point. He was
the leg bending backwards at one point. He just kept going. So he's built different. That's for sure.
Big boy.
That is a big boy. Speaking of, never mind. I was about to get myself canceled. The Bears beat the Packers. And I fell asleep halfway through because the Bears were definitely getting touched. And then I woke up to seeing Caleb grating cheese on the set of Amazon Prime in a cheese grater. foam hat. I watched the highlights for the parts that I did not see, and I shared with Sam and Harrison. I did not share it with Brendan, but he'll hear now. But watching Caleb, that was not one of his better games. But with that being said, he has a clutch gene, and he's proven that, and he does show up when he needs to in certain moments. And he does have an absolute cannon, but that's the gunslinger mentality. Is he can throw you in a game, he can throw you out of a game. I mean, we grew up watching Brett Favre do it for many years, and it can go either way. But the Bears, that energy that they have is amazing right now. I think also one of the highlights, or actually I know one of the highlights, is the post-game handshake that continues to live on between them. I would love to know if anything has ever been exchanged between these two outside of the field. Like if there's been a text messages that have gone around, because these two really, 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 really don't like each other. And also, can I ask you guys a question?
Of course.
What is your real thoughts on Jordan Love now at this point in time? Have you seen him in several playoffs? And even, I guess, LaFleur as well. Several playoffs that they have had a pretty solid team, one of the better teams and considered to be Super Bowl contenders for the past, I'd say, 3 years, and have just fallen flat on their faces over and over again. So my question to you all is, what is your thoughts on the Love-LaFleur combination? Do you feel one needs to go? Do you feel one needs to step up? Do you think Love is in that top tier quarterback? And do you think that potentially the Packers move on from LaFleur?
I think with all good answers, this one's in the gray area. I was actually more impressed with Love than I've really ever been, other than like the Cowboys game. I mean, you throw 4 touchdowns, no picks, like you should win that game.
To win, yes.
And then on the flip side, I was even more so disappointed in LaFleur. Like I thought he completely mismanaged that game. They were conservative at some points. Then they were too aggressive when they needed to be conservative and kill some clock. They got a penalty for too many or not enough men on the field, or they had to take a timeout. So burned a timeout, not that many men on the field. I just think they melted down completely. And I would put that all on the coach. And it's been a theme for them. Like they just have kind of crushing playoff loss after crushing playoff loss with him at the helm. And I wouldn't put really any of it on Love. I was really impressed with him. I thought he made great throws. He wasn't just checking it down. He was throwing downfield. He saw the field well. He made the plays that they needed him to make for them to win. They just completely melted down. Like the Bears should have had no chance to come back from that. They started so poorly. And you have Caleb on the sideline, like yelling at other players. Like he doesn't do that. Like I've watched him almost his whole career. Like he is super, just like, almost like it looks like he doesn't care at times, which is a knock he gets. But to see him that way, like they were clearly agitated and feeling the pressure, the Bears were, but they completely flipped it on him, and the Packers just melted.
I mean, it probably helps that their kicker doesn't, left how many points on 7 points. The board,
the
right?
Bears it's a way worse loss for the Pack. Obviously, it's an amazing win for the Bears. That franchise has been through hell, but that for the Packers to lose that game in the position they were in the fourth quarter, it's clear. Like that's coaching. Like that is just like you mismanaged this game completely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 18-point lead at the half. It's the largest blown lead in a playoff game in franchise history for the Packers. So, not good.
Jordan, I was impressed with Jordan Love, and also just showing the doubters that he can play outside of Toyotathon, which I know everyone. He looked really good. Yeah, he. I don't know. I could see. I know the losses have been bad, and the LaFleur tenure hasn't been great, but I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, it's the age-old question, like, are you good with, like, just being there? Like, being in the position to have crushing losses, or just, like, being terrible and, like, never seeing that moment? But so they've been just successful enough to, like, get kicked in the balls over and over again.
I think LaFleur, well, you guys know how I felt about Harbaugh, and it's not that I don't like John Harbaugh, which we'll get into very shortly. I just feel that at some point when you have a top-tier quarterback and you're supposed to be this top-tier head coach, and you just don't make that ascension at some point in time, or most of the times what's going to happen is they're going to move off the coach. They're not going to move off of that player, right? And I feel that LaFleur is kind of moving himself into that, is pretty much in that realm after this one. I think that if they do decide to stay with him, this would be a shock if they moved off of him during the offseason, but if they do stay with him, and he's also in contract extension talks right now, if they stay, and he's got 1 year left, if he stays one more year and they say, hey, let's prove it or lose it type situation, I 100% could see him going next year and then continue going from there. So that's the only reason why I asked, just kind of thinking bigger picture of what this Packers team looks like, because they do have a solid defense, and see what is going to happen and come out of it.
What I would say is, not knowing all the contract situations and not making excuses, because he clearly fumbled this game. But having Tucker Kraft back next year, Micah, hopefully by mid-season, he's looking good. Like, this team is still a playoff contender. Like, write it in 100%. Right now. Yeah. So, I think Romeo Doubs is a free agent. They have a ton of wideouts that are ready to step up too. Like, I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, I agree. I was just going to mention that. Like, I think it would be like a rash decision to do that now, especially like they have some built-in excuses for this year for sure. They got banged up towards the end of the year, but the contract situation will be an interesting one. Like, do you have like a lame duck coach just sitting there on a 1 year extension, and how does that go? And if he starts asking for a lot of money, this offseason, it's kind of like, I don't know. Are you the guy? So maybe they do.
That's
make
when
a
you
decision.
roll out the paper and just let it drop. Like, these are all the things that you didn't do.
CBS receipt. Yeah.
Let's just wait.
So I'm curious to see how like those negotiations go, because he's going to be asking for a contract this offseason. So it wouldn't shock me if they moved away, but also, I don't know. And the Bears are, ahead of schedule. Like, obviously I thought they would do some of this last year and they were too young to do it. And they're still ahead of schedule. Like, Caleb's still just in his second year. So, but they obviously have their coach and Ben Johnson, and they have a vibe and energy about them. So you don't want to get lapped in the division. So you might have to do something soon.
This is the worst that the Bears are going to be. So everybody should probably just try to take advantage of this now, because this is the worst that they're going to be. Caleb is going to get better, and he's already shown flashes of it. And Ben is settling in, and he's got that locker room, and you can see it's very, very clear. He's got that locker room. And if you didn't hear the post-game speech and how these guys look at them, and obviously it's entertaining to see what goes on in the locker room after, but it'll definitely make you, if you played sports or just somebody that just feeds off these type of things, it'll get you ready to run through a wall for sure.
And let's not underestimate going into Chicago in late January. Like, that place was on fire on Saturday night, and it, a couple weeks ago, that Saturday night game was too, and no doubt they'll be ready for the Rams on, is it Saturday or Sunday? Whenever that game is, they'll be ready there. So, this team has been penalized enough, been hurt. These fans have been hurt enough, as Harrison's point. So, like, it's going to get weird.
I'm really mad that we did get robbed of a snow game. I really thought that it was going to be an absolute blizzard and they would be running through snow. I was hoping for it.
Got a little sprinkle.
Yeah, we got a little sprinkle. But, it's getting a little bit warmer because our short king is in Cancun. And because the Rams beat the Panthers, and don't let the scoreboard fool you. The Panthers were in this game throughout this whole time, and they played the Rams. Obviously, they beat them earlier in the season, and they played them very, very well. I believe we talked about about our short king not being able to see over the line. You can definitely see that he could not see over the line. The Rams, again, I know Matthew Stafford is pretty much the consensus number one for MVP right now. But that team also kind of looked poopy caca, and they have for the past couple of weeks, and I don't really know how I feel. There's flashes that you can see that they can offensively take off any point in time that they want to and absolutely destroy you. But then there's times it's like, what are they doing? They have too much talent. I don't know what version of the Rams we're going to get as we continue to go forward. I can see them getting knocked next week. Or excuse me, this week. I'm not quite sure what happens there. And then as for the Panthers, I hope they look at this as a win. I know they lost, but I hope they look at this as a win. This is something that I know the way they got into the playoffs is not the greatest, but they got in, and then they played a team that is a Super Bowl contender very, very well. So I hope this is something that they build off of, and they actually go and get the pieces. They won't have Dabble or Rico, right? Rico Dabble. He's Daddle. He pretty much said that he will not be back. That he wants to go and get his touches elsewhere. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there, but curious to see what happens as they move forward.
Yeah, I think you'll get. Oh, go ahead, Sam.
I was just say, since Dowdle kind of took over when Hubbard got hurt in the middle of the season, like, to your point, Hayes, this team should be proud of what it's accomplished, and they lost a tough game, but they were in it. And I said to you yesterday, I was fully expecting the Rams to just be sitting everyone by the middle of the fourth quarter. Like, I didn't think this was going to be a game, and I was dead wrong there. But it
was like talent. Like you said about the Rams, like you don't know what you're going to get each game. You might know what you're going to get each quarter. So like they're so up and down, and why the Rams and Bears game is going to be really fun, because both those teams are similar in that way, where it's like, you could roll off 21 points in the blink of an eye, or you could also just fumble it or whatever. But yeah, man, like obviously I picked the Rams same way as Sam. Like I thought this wouldn't be even close. And then, you start watching the game and Cam Newton's pounding the drum, and, they get to halftime only down 3 or 4. And it's like, I really want to root for the Panthers here. Like I just want chaos, and they continued that. So yeah, man, they should not have been close to that. But I like the coach they have. I really like him. I think, even any of the interviews and kind of his demeanor and the way he sees the game, I like. So I think they have something good there if they can just build on it. That division is for the taking.
Yep. I mean,
that was
yes.
I don't want to. Yeah, I think it's. No one expected the Panthers to make the playoffs, even though they were under 500. But they certainly backed their way into the playoffs. Yeah. But to your point, give them credit; they were in the game. Matt Stafford, man, the guy is just having a hell of a season, and I'm really interested in seeing this weekend in Chicago. I just looked up the forecast. Some snow forecasted for later in the week. Sunday's going to be high of 18 degrees. So I'm interested in seeing this LA team come into Chicago in the cold weather and see what happens there. That'll be an interesting part to me. And also, just kind of looking at the wild card round as a whole, just further highlights the importance of the QB position. I mean, basically every game was decided by the QB play. And that dime that Stafford threw to win the game, it's just, can't emphasize enough just how important the QB position is in the NFL. So
my man said, let's take their soul on this last drive, is what Matthew Stafford said to Devontae Adams. Let's take their soul.
That's awesome.
Love that.
Absolutely. Devontae Adams said, that is the coldest thing I've ever heard somebody say to me in a moment like that.
100%.
So there's
I
that.
love Matthew Stafford, man. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
that's so great.
I got some just before we wrap this segment up here.
More nuggies.
More nuggies. In the first 3 games, none of the teams that led at the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter won the game. The first 3 games also featured a combined 9 lead changes in the fourth quarter, most ever. And then this is the first time in NFL history where there were 4 games decided by 4 points or fewer in a single postseason round. So that's also NFL record there. So pretty great first round of the playoffs. Really couldn't have asked for better.
Checks out for the year we've had.
Yeah.
Parity, yeah.
And even more impressive for me to go 5-0.
Wow.
Here we are.
Coaches that got fired.
Playoff Harry.
John Harbaugh was fired from Baltimore. I didn't even see it, and I got a text from Sam, and he said, "I know you're happy," and I didn't realize what was going on, and then I saw it. I said, "Oh, okay, that finally happened." And then Mike McDaniels was fired from the Dolphins, possibly future Eagles offensive coordinator. I greatly appreciate that.
That would be crazy. That would be so good.
I would absolutely love that. So yeah, please do that somehow, some way.
Yeah, I would want Mike McDaniel as my OC like immediately.
Yes, yeah. I'm pretty sure plenty of people are going to be reaching out for that as well. So let's see what happens. So wild card weekend standings. Harrison mentioned it, so I'm a champion Harrison when I give him all his shit.
Thank you.
Went 5-0. I
did.
will not give him his nickname that Sam gave him. That he's got to prove this more than once. Sam went 4-1. Bacon also went 4-1, and I went 2-3. So Harrison and I took Harrison's role somehow, some way. We all had the Texans over the Steelers. When you hear this, you will know the results of the game. Wild card picks. Saturday, the Niners at Seahawks. We all have the Seahawks except for Harrison, who has the Niners. He's riding that. We'll get back to that. Bills at Broncos. Both Bacon and I have the Broncos. Harrison has the Bills, and Sam has nobody.
I don't know, guys. You
got to choose.
It's not the way this works.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know, but I don't love this Broncos team. I know they got the first round bye. I know they're home, altitude, all of this stuff. I don't love this Broncos team. I know.
So you're choosing the
really
Bills.
Good. Pick the Bills.
No, I don't know. I don't know. This is really hard.
You let us know when you know.
Okay.
But
Sunday,
then I was like, maybe I'll go the Bills, and then I saw Harrison pick the Bills, and I was like, oh shit.
Well, I mean, in the playoffs, apparently Harrison is
Harry.
savant. So, I mean, go with that. Rams at Bears. We all have the Bears except for Bacon, who has the Rams. And then the Texans, Steelers winner of that at Pats, and we all have the Pats. So we'll go back. Bacon, why do you have the Rams over the Bears? No, we just talked about it a little bit, Rams a little bit, and whatnot. Bears.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive what the Bears are doing, and I just think that, like you guys mentioned before, I mean, Caleb is such a gunslinger, and like you said, Hayes, he can win you a game and he can also lose you a game. And there were moments in the game against the Packers where I was like, man, this guy is going to cost them this game ultimately.
Yeah.
His completion percentage, 50%. I think he was one of the lowest in the regular season as well.
Yeah.
So that's really the deciding factor for me. Again, I think the weather's going to be interesting for the Rams as well. But I just what Matt Stafford's doing this year. If Caleb has another, rocky start to a game like he did this past weekend, I think it's going to favor the Rams. So that's why I'm in LA.
I know you guys have mentioned the weather a couple of times for the Rams. Do not forget what they did last year when they played against the Eagles. They almost beat the Eagles to move on in that big snow game. So they play very well in the snow. And, I mean, it's so cold in the D. Matthew Stafford just came from there. So, you know what I mean? So it's so cold in the D. I know. Still cold. It's still cold. It's still cold. Sam, did you make your decision yet?
I was just looking the spreads -1. Bills.
All right, so I everything you've said is the Bills, so I'm going to chalk you up as the Bills here.
He'll change it, maybe.
He probably will. And I already know, Harrison, why you're going with the Niners, so we don't need to talk about that one.
Aside from the Pats game, I feel like the other three can go either way.
100%.
I feel like they're all going to be very close. Niners, Seahawks. I
wouldn't be shocked. Like, I think the Texans will beat the hell out of the Steelers tonight. Mm-hmm. That Texans defense, I would really like to see the Pats play that. I really would, and I'm not like 100% sure on the Pats. Like, not even close, actually.
I was just going to say, what do the Steelers or I think Texans have to do?
Just like, cool, let's do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do these guys have to? The game tonight, like, what do they have to show to like change our minds on this pick? I don't think it's a ton, but this defense is great. This Texans defense is great, and they can score. So,
number one defense statistically in the NFL. So,
I think 49ers Seahawks is. They just played 2 weeks ago, and 49ers couldn't score at all. I don't know, man. It's just playoffs are different, and just see what happens, I guess. Roll the ball out there. Great analysis. Sports.
All right. College football, still haven't watched the game since Penn State's been out of it. But I did see some highlights of Indiana stomping a mud hole in Oregon. So if you guys want to go and jump into that, well, I'll actually say Miami also won over Ole Miss, and the national championship is, wait for it, what we all picked at the beginning of the year, Indiana versus Miami. So pat yourself on the back, guys. We did it. We knew this was going to happen. Thoughts on all of this?
Indiana absolutely boat raced Oregon. Might have sent Dante Moore back to college. He might not even declare now that it looked tough for him. But this Indiana team is silly. Their average age is 24 years old. The Packers' average age is 25. So they're trotting out grown men. They have figured out, the NIL, the way of the world that is NIL, and they've got some, grown-ups on their team, especially on their offensive line, and they just don't allow Mendoza to be touched, and he can just do whatever he wants, and they run the ball over the place. So, the Miami Ole Miss game was incredible. I was pulling for Ole Miss. I like my guy Trinidad, but Carson Beck really, really played really well down the stretch, and had the game-winning touchdown run. But I just don't see Miami coming close to Indiana with the way Indiana is playing right now, and that team they've built is an absolute juggernaut. Miami's defense is great, and their defensive line is really incredible, but Indiana's seems different right now.
Well, at least we get to see Michael Irvin on the sideline again. So.
Oh, man.
Ray Lewis on the coin toss.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been a title game in a title team playing, at home?
Yeah, I'm sure it's happened before. I can't remember, but I'm sure it has.
I don't know what kind of advantage that would be, but I don't know what the spread is, but
where it's in Miami?
It's in Miami.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, like Indiana, Oregon was in Atlanta. That crowd was literally 85% Indiana. So like they travel really well. And I don't know. I don't think it'll be like as decisive Miami as people may think, just because it is in Miami, and Miami's kind of like a transient city. But yeah. So I don't think it'll be that much of an advantage, but it is interesting that, Miami gets to play at home.
Baseball time.
Mendoza's so good, man.
I like him.
So good. That's all.
He's very poised.
Baseball
Fueled by chicken nuggets, dino nuggies, and mac and cheese. That's his pregame meal. Not a joke.
I did see that.
I feel like that's our kids' pregame meal. I feel like
not a joke.
Good for him.
He's an absolute nerd. Came from Cal. He is like a genius level, but he's interesting dude.
Baseball time.
Baseball time. Baseball time.
Sam and Brennan, go ahead and nerd out.
Sweet.
Let me hear it.
It was a big weekend for Chicago sports. Alex Bregman signed with the Cubs for 5 years, $175 million. I know the Red Sox were really making a strong push to bring him back, and decided to go to Chicago. Sam, were you as surprised as I was to see the amount and the length of that contract?
As you know, hours before I traded Matt Shaw.
That's true.
And
you must have had a crystal ball.
I had a crystal ball. So here we are. But yeah, that's a good amount of money.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it for the Cubs. I know Wrigley's not the easiest place to play, especially for a guy who has marginal power, but that defense is so good. And just to think of what I really want to talk about the Red Sox for a second. I'm sure you want to bring this up too, Brendan. Like, you bring Alex Bregman, who into Fenway last year, who's a great defensive third baseman. Devers, not. So you alienate your best player. This whole, you learn to play first base, you DH, whatever. You trade him for not full value. And now you lose Alex Bregman too. And it sounded like he wanted to stay in Boston. I don't necessarily blame them for not putting up 175, but still, this isn't great for them. And I'm sure the Red Sox are a smart organization. They'll figure it out. But yeah, tough day in Boston. And then after Alex Bregman signs is when the Bears turned everything around. So it was almost like the juice that Chicago needed to beat the Packers on Saturday night. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. I didn't think about that with the Red Sox and everything that transpired last year with Rafi Devers. Yeah, and I'm, I know they have a lot of young talent in Boston, and they got the kids on the coming up, and Christian Campbell, got some exposure to the big leagues last year. Didn't go as planned, but obviously I expect him to be a little bit better this year. Marcelo Meyer, but other than that, I mean, unless they do really take that next step, I'm not overly impressed with the lineup, and I still think they need more right-handed pop, similar to the Yanks. But I know they tried to address that with Contreras, but yeah, I think it's a big loss, for the Red Sox. I don't have the specifics, or I can't recall the specifics, but I believe it was something within the deal. I think the Red Sox offered similar term, but there was something either in deferrals or what have you that was kind of the deciding factor for Bregman to go to Chicago. So yeah, it's got to sting for the Red Sox, and whatever's bad for the Red Sox is good in my eyes. So
they offered him a lot of money last year too, with those opt-outs. It was like it came out to like 40 a year. Yeah. So I guess it wasn't enough. Scott Boras guy, right? Is he?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep, that is.
But I wish, this is nice that the Cubs spent some money and acted like a big market team, because they don't like to do that. But
100%. And and then also trading for Edward Cabrera. That's big, even though he has his own, drawbacks in terms of health and not being able to stay on the field. But when he is on the mound, he's lights out. So they traded, I guess depending on the publication, their top prospect or one of their top prospects, Nolan Casey, and a couple others for Edward Cabrera. So really, adding to that rotation. And I'm a Cubs fan. I'm pretty excited. Yeah, they have a really good team, even without Kyle Tucker coming back. Sam, you mentioned Matt Shaw. I mean, this either relegates him to a utility role. Maybe they move him. Maybe they move Nico, which I know you and I touched on that over the weekend or late last week. What are your thoughts on Matt Shaw and the impact that the Bregman signing has on him?
Yeah, I read something like the Cubs want to trade Nico Horner. He's in a walk year. So I don't think he's going to get a ton of money. But again, this to my comment of like the Cubs acting like a mid-market team. But, you know, I think the potential of Matt Shaw is great. He was a first-round pick, guys. He came up as a like shortstop, can play second, played third all of last year, like nice contact skills, like has some pop. Really nice asset to have to play. You know, again, it can play a couple different positions. I'd be interested to see there. Again, they have a great defense. The Cubs, they did before this acquisition, so could see, you know, if they could find some money under the couch cushions for someone like Zach Gallen or something. I think it would just, you know, I love the Cabrera trade. If he can stay healthy, he's really good player, but I'm not necessarily worried about Matt Shaw. Happy I traded him though. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Hell yeah.
So there is a ripple effect of the Bregman signing. That's Cody Bellinger.
Who?
Yeah, we'll be saying that soon when he signs there in Queens. But yeah, according to reports, the Yanks have offered Belly a 5-year deal in the range of 155 to 160 million, but apparently Belly is seeking a deal longer than 5 years and worth more than 30 million per season. Just for some context there, the only other outfielders currently in Major League Baseball with a contract like this are Mookie Betts, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and Mike Trout. I love Bellinger. He is nowhere near the level of those 4 players there. So 5 players, sorry, yeah, 4. So it's just outrageous. Scott Boras at it again. 4 or 5? Yeah, I don't know. I can't count. Sorry. Hayes is showing me fingers. I don't know what it is. That is just an outrageous ask if it is accurate. Like I said, as much as I love Belly, as much as I want him back with the Yanks, no shot. I don't blame them for balking at that ask.
I totally agree with you. I think Cody Bellinger was perfect for this team last year, and the versatility will be missed. And I just think I've always really loved the player. I thought he was great. You can't pay him that.
No shot.
I don't know what the pivot is. I know there's a potential lockout. There might be a salary cap. You're worried about stuff like that. I know it's not my money. I know it's New York Yankees. I know George is rolling over in his grave. I was really thinking about it over the weekend, though, as these reports of kind of this probably isn't going to work. And who knows if it's just PR, like trying to throw some shade at Boras and Belly here. But like, great, Hal Steinbrenner's legacy. At first I thought, okay, he kept Aaron Judge in New York in pinstripes. Awesome. It kind of seems like Aaron Judge was never going anywhere. He just wanted the respect that he thought he should get. And now I really thought a lot this weekend, like Hal's legacy is what are you putting around the greatest hitter of this generation outside of a freak of Shohei Ohtani? Like what Aaron Judge has been able to do the last handful of years is on a level of its own, again, next to Ohtani. And it is just being pissed away at this point.
I would even argue he's a better all-around hitter than Ohtani.
Judge?
Yeah.
I think Ohtani is probably the better athlete, better player. But in terms of hitters, I go Judge.
We're
as well.
splitting hairs, but yeah,
100%.
It's fair.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's crazy.
It's tough to see. You know, like you said, you have a generational talent in Judge. 99 is going to be retired out in Monument Park, and we're just wasting his prime years.
I'd be interested to see what Kyle Tucker gets. I love the profile of Kyle Tucker, but I don't know if that's going to work in pinstripes. And I don't know if you spend a fortune on Bo Bichette either. So, like, I'm not trying to defend Cashman and Yankees, and I know I just said all this stuff about legacy and whatnot, but, like, I don't know what the right answer is. I don't. There needs to be some protection in this lineup, and I don't even know if we sign Belly right now. I don't think that's enough. So what's next?
Yeah, I don't have the answers either. I mean, I've been calling for a more traditional leadoff guy, to be in front of Judge. I mean, seen Goldschmidt lead off last year. Sure, it worked for a little while, but definitely not your prototypical leadoff guy. I agree, Sam. I don't think Belly is going to put us over the hump there, and I don't know, but they got to get creative, do something, and try to get a championship and capitalize on Judge's remaining prime years.
I know one thing they can do.
33, 34. So he's running time. The window's closing.
Definitely know one thing they can do.
What's that?
About time to move over Cashman. I'm over Cashman, and I've definitely been over Boone. So I again, yes, I'm very thankful that you brought Judge back. I'm very thankful that you brought some great pieces, and obviously, we know what we grew up watching, the four of us. It's not those days anymore. Teams have gotten smarter. Teams are dipping into their farm system, which is one of the reasons that I've been so excited about the Yankees in recent years, is the farm system that they've actually built up and are doing the things to not go out and get the top guy as normal. But at what point do you just sit here and keep saying, no, we're good? I just keep hearing reports over and over and over again this offseason of coming out of the Yankees is, they're good with the people that they have. And then you're going and bringing Grisham's back of the world. Like what is happening here? Like, I don't get what the formula is. And to me, again, at the point, like, it's just been too many letdowns over and over again, and you're wasting time with Judge. And obviously Garrett Cole is getting older and you're wasting his years as well too. So something's got to change. And I think there needs to be a big splash. And sometimes it has to start up there. If you're not going to move off Boone, it needs to be a regime change. Something needs to happen.
I'm hoping that was all posturing and yeah, we're comfortable with
don't
what
feel
we
like
have. It doesn't at this point, yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there got a month left. Is it a month till pitchers and catchers report? So
yeah, it's usually like Valentine's Day. So like we're right. You can't come off Cashman now. So
yes, you can.
You shouldn't, but
why shouldn't you?
Well, who's the new GM of the Yankees on January 13th?
I'm not talking about it right now. That's something that could have been done a while ago. I don't like posing the mates.
100%.
That's what I'm saying. So you 100%. Can come off of them. It's the same thing. Once you're repeating the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, you both spoke to it eloquently on and off this podcast. Is what are we doing here? And we keep having that question and have had that question for like the past 3 to 4 years. Like, what are we doing here? And if that question continues to keep happening over and over again, I mean, the finger points to one person over and over again. What are we doing here?
I was really impressed with the trade deadline. I thought about that. I was really impressed about the trade deadline, though. I mean, we got 2 closer caliber relievers. Caballero is going to play a huge part because Volpe's not going to be ready for the season, it sounds like. And,
that's the best news I heard so far.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Volpe's going to be ready. I think because he had surgery on his shoulder. I don't think he'll be ready to start. But, I still have faith in Cashman to go out and trade and win the trade. He 100%. Usually does. But this is the point that we've been saying. All right, if it takes Spencer Jones, do it. Would you trade Spencer Jones, Ben Hess right now for Nico Horner?
For 1 year of Nico?
Yeah. Well, Jazz is a free agent at the end of the year, too. Play second base, move Jazz to third. Or
I love Nico Horner, and I think he's everything the Yankees need right now. Just a all around good player. I don't know if I do that for 1 year. Yeah, maybe Ben Hess plus some lower level pieces. Yeah,
but these teams are gonna, like it sounds good. It sounds good on like Madden to do that, right? Like I don't want to give up my A prospect. I want to give up a bunch of C's and B's, right? But like that's not how this works, right? So when like Cashman said he got the impression that trying to get Scooble would cost half the team. Yeah, if you're the Tigers, it should.
I think that's and that's a different story too. I mean, just the caliber of player there. But yeah, I think they've been holding on to Spencer Jones for so long now. I would be very surprised if they were to make a move like that. Like for someone who isn't under control, I would do it for Stephen Kwan in a heartbeat. Get that leadoff hitter. He's a Gold Glove left fielder. Again, another like high IQ kind of player. He's not going to make dumb mistakes on the base paths and cost you a game there. I would trade Spencer Jones in a heartbeat for someone like that who's under control. Like I said, I love Nico, but as a rental, I don't know if I pull the trigger on that one.
I just think the way we're going to make any kind of move on the margins here is in the trade market, whether it's, Mackenzie Gore, Peralta, but these teams are going to want, what we consider to be, the A prospects, which I don't know if the scouting community necessarily looks at anyone outside of George Lombard in our system or Elmer Rodriguez Cruz as like a game-changing prospect.
Right.
So be interested. I think the window to sell Spencer Jones was probably during the trade deadline when he was destroying baseballs in AAA. But then he goes back and turns into a pumpkin, has a 40% strikeout rate. And it's not going to, not on his, I still think his best case scenario is he's Rangers Joey Gallo, and his worst case scenario is he's Yankees Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that because I didn't think that a couple of years ago, but
yeah, we'll see. I do agree that if they're going to make a big splash, it's going to be on the trade market there versus signing someone. I'm intrigued by the Bo Bichette discussions and chatter as well. I would welcome him. I know Hayes would as well. He's a big Bo guy. So
Bo knows.
So we'll see. I think we've talked enough baseball.
Real quick, Bo power rankings. Number 1, Bo Jackson, right?
Yeah, gotta be.
It gotta be Bo Jackson. Number 2,
Bo Derek.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, throwback.
Is Bo Nix on there?
I was gonna say either Bo Nix or Bo Bichette, but then I was like, I'm gonna miss a Bo here. Bo Derek.
Bo Derek. What is wrong with you?
This is why I don't do power rankings. This is why it's Harrison.
Yeah.
It's off the rails, Hayes. Let's wrap this thing up.
I gotta
go have dinner.
I don't know too many Bows.
Bo
Hayes, wrap us up, please.
No, I'm not the one that wraps us up. Sam, take us out of here, please. Thank you.
I think Hayes would say Bo Nix. He's,
yeah.
As Drew Brees light, I would say probably Bo Nix.
I would say Bo Flex. So let's just get the hell out of here.
Bo Flex. Oh, there you go. 198 in the books. 5 years of Chasing Points podcast. Thanks so much for listening and going through this roller coaster with us. And for more nonsensical Yankee talk and more, just check us out on Instagram. But for Brendan and Brandon and Harrison, I'm Sam. Thank you so much for listening. Get well soon, Anthony Volpe.
Go Birds. For the last time this year, go Birds.
Wow, that's crazy.